In this video we will be taking a look at a video which is a little bit older, but after seeing it pop up in my recommended I just couldn't turn it down. Now, Elden Ring needs no introduction. It's one of the most beloved games in the last few years, if not even longer, but apparently not everyone is thrilled about this game, and that is definitely the situation going on here. The title of this video is Rant, Elden Ring sucks, Elden Ring is overrated and boring, and comes from Triggered Senpai. Now, if that title or channel name didn't give you fucking Ebola, then you've been on the internet way too fucking long for your own good. In any case, having been cursed by that abortion, let's get right into this video and see how Elden Ring is complete garbage.
One of the most overrated games to come out in the last year or so is Elden Ring, and I can't really understand why, because based off of what I played, Elden Ring is pretty much Dark Souls 3.5 or 4 if that's where you want to take it.
Damn bro, it's almost like it's made by the same developer and is a similar style of game in general. Shocker, I know. Now, let's hear exactly why this is bad, because if you ask me, more Dark Souls is not exactly a bad thing.
The only thing that Elden Ring really does that separates itself from Dark Souls 3 is the shield parry mechanic, the spear summonings, the horse, and the open world. Oh yeah, and the stealth mechanic. You take these things away and the shit is just a Dark Souls 3 DLC. What?
Holy shit, we're barely 30 seconds into the video and already this guy has said one of the most retarded statements ever made. If you remove everything that makes Elden Ring unique, it's just the same game again. I mean, dude. That is kinda how sequels work. You have a base, which you expand on. You can literally say the same shit for any sequel to any game. So I guess going by this logic, no sequel should ever be made, since if you remove all the new features, it just becomes a DLC. Seriously, what the fuck is that logic?
Which is not a bad thing, because if you're a huge fan of the Souls series, then you probably don't give a fuck about anything of what I'm saying right now.
At least he's self-aware. I certainly wouldn't give a shit if I wasn't paid by YouTube to give one. Also, if it's not a bad thing for fans of the older games, then that would also mean it's not a bad thing for the new players either, since they haven't played the old games and as such wouldn't care if it was similar to them, given that they're, well, new to the fucking franchise. Where is the problem?
What is the problem?
You're just happy to have another Souls game. But someone like me who frequents the Souls games here and there, I just don't believe in spending $60+ on a game that's damn near similar to the game I've already played.
Maybe because it's a completely new game with completely new mechanics. Wow, what a fucking surprise. Also, given that you listed shield parrying as a unique mechanic to Elden Ring, when that has been a thing in Souls games all the way from fucking Demon Souls, I'm willing to bet you haven't even played any Souls games in general, so yeah, there's that.
I'll just wait till the shit goes on sale. But in this case, I went and bought Elden Ring because of the hype that was surrounding it. Also, I'm a fan of the Souls series, so like, why the fuck not, right? Plus, the reviews that were coming in for this game were fucking godly-like, and after playing 5+ hours of Elden Ring, I cannot for the life of me figure out why this game was so well received. Elden Ring, aka Elden Snooze, aka Elden Z's, aka the Horse Simulator.
Damn bro, that was so funny I forgot to laugh.
95% of the 5+ hours I put into that game was spent running around on my horse farming souls, getting armor and weapons, and just hoping to find some shit to do.
Oh no, did he do the Under the Mayo exploring where he killed 2 wolves and said, I explored guys? Because literally wherever you go you can find a point of interest. And especially considering this guy spent 4+ hours exploring by his own admission, this comes off as yet another lie.
I even checked out some Twitch streams to see if anyone was doing anything interesting with this game, and lo and behold, they were doing the exact same shit as me, running around on a horse hitting shit with the hopes of finding something to do.
Well, that's kinda ironic considering the b-roll.
I literally came across a Twitch streamer who was literally begging to find a dungeon or a cave to raid while they was running around on their horse.
Damn bro, that's crazy. Do you have a source for that? Unless of course...
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
The world feels empty a lot of times with no sense of direction, which will give off the impression that the game is boring, which it is a lot of times. I can't tell you how many times I fell asleep on the controller while running around on my horse to only wake up and get game banged by a bunch of random ass enemies. A lot of the areas in this game look the fucking same, and the ones that do look different, they have this dullish tone to them that literally begs the player to fucking yawn.
Yeah, because in case you haven't noticed, the world of Elden Ring is kinda fucked. Also, I love how he shows the fucking lake of rot, which he got straight from Google Images, which alongside the lack of example b-roll, just goes to further prove how this motherfucker didn't even play this game. You know, it's always a great sign when a reviewer, a guy that's supposed to tell you his experience with the game, hasn't even played the game in question.
Like, this shit is like NyQuil on joysticks. A lot of people like to say that Elden Ring is a perfect mixture of Dark Souls and Zelda Breath of the Wild, which I find to be a huge issue because I think Zelda Breath of the Wild is one of the most boring and tedious games ever.
Now, I haven't played Breath of the Wild, although I do want to, so I cannot comment on that. And given this guy's track record, I'm willing to bet he hasn't either. And this video is supposed to be about Elden Ring, so I'll skip his little Breath of the Wild rant, since it's completely irrelevant.
But the point I was trying to make is that it makes sense that people compare Zelda Breath of the Wild to Elden Ring because they both are fucking boring and they suffer from almost the same things.
First of all, boring is a completely subjective term, and second, you mind telling us what those things are? Because so far you've given nothing but anecdotes and proven you haven't even played the game. So with that in consideration, you're gonna need some real good points in order to sway people over.
An empty, uninteresting open world. Now personally, I prefer Elden Ring's world over Breath of the Wild's world because at least in Elden Ring, they have some cool shit to look at and fight every now and then.
And then he shows a promotional picture.
Plus their world is not as tedious as Breath of the Wild's world, so yeah, that's also a plus as well. Now, I want to get into these goofy ass reviews because I'm of the mindset that nothing is perfect out there or even damn near perfect. Anything with a 97, 98 or up, or even just a 10 out of 10, look, I'm automatically disqualifying that shit and I'm going to test it out for myself.
Yeah, no shit, nothing is perfect. But going off your criteria, no game ever would get a 10 out of 10. Besides, Elden Ring is pretty fucking close.
Because video game reviewers are the last motherfuckers you want to trust when it comes to video game reviews.
Why is it that every person shitting on Elden Ring always goes for game reviewers? Yeah, no shit, half the time they're completely retarded. But to look at the game that game reviewers rated positively and go, ah, game reviewers suck, and since they rated this game highly, that must mean the game is horrible, is 10 times more pathetic than any bad game review.
Shit, not even just them. Motherfuckers on Twitter, YouTube, you can't trust their opinions either because most of them motherfuckers are hype beasts and they just want to fit into a popular trend or some shit.
And you are different how? You literally admitted to wanting to review this game because it's popular, so don't even pretend that you're somehow superior when you're clearly not.
A lot of video game reviewers are biased as hell and will give a bad game a high score just so that they can keep their industry relationships intact.
So in short, Elden Ring is bad because some reviewers get paid off. Never mind the fact that there is absolutely zero proof of From Software paying off reviewers for Elden Ring. It couldn't be that they just made a good game that people enjoy. But sure, go off, Queen.
Especially if the game is from a big developer. The video game reviewing industry is borderline dead as hell and they have to rely on big developers to keep them relevant because they're already a dying breed.
I detect some strong projection in that statement.
Without their relationships with these big studios, they're pretty much fucked. Look at The Last of Us Part 2.
Oh fucking course he brings up The Last of Us Part 2. Newsflash, retard. The Last of Us Part 2 is kind of an exception here. You don't hear anyone unironically praising that game. Not to mention it literally disproves your point with YouTube channels, when almost every single Last of Us Part 2 review is shitting on the game and those that don't get dislike bombed to fuck.
Can you really tell me with a straight face that that game was well executed? They gave that shit a 90 plus score and it won the game of the fucking year. Like it can't get more fucking obvious than that. And now you're telling me I'm supposed to take these 97s, 98s and fucking 10 out of 10 seriously?
Yes, because unlike that abortion, Elden Ring is actually a good game. Which is also why you cannot find a single point against it, when you 100% could. If you played the game, of course.
Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Elden Ring launched with mad bugs and glitches, and they're out here giving it 10 out of 10s.
And those issues got fixed, so what more do you want?
Like, how does that shit make any sense? A 95 to 100 score is a close to perfect to a perfect game. If your game has a shit ton of bugs and glitches to the point where it ruins the experience of the game, then the game is not a 95 to 100 or even a 10 out of 10. Now, the combat in the game, whenever you do run into an enemy or a boss, is pretty fun, except it can get real repetitive at times whenever you fight against a boss.
Then simply try a different set of equipment. There is no shortage of fun and unique weapon options in the game.
Like, you'll spend the majority of the fight dodging and rolling from their attacks than actually fighting them, which I guess is an issue with all Souls games that I pretty much have. I guess you can call them shits the duck and roll simulator.
Then find openings mid-attacks and different ways to punish the bosses. Like, if an attack is low, for instance, do a jumping attack over it. If an attack doesn't hit close by to the boss, position yourself close to it and hit. Or try parrying. That's how these games work. You learn the attacks, so you know how to react to them. Seriously, where is the problem?
What is the problem?
And I know there's going to be people in the comment section saying, oh, maybe open world games just aren't for you, which isn't true at all, because I like open world games. I just don't like open world games like Elden Ring and Zelda Breath of the Wild, because their open worlds require the player to have some type of imagination or creativity to have fun with it.
So basically you cannot play a game unless it holds your hand.
But overall, Elden Ring is an alright game. It's one of those games where if I knew what I was getting myself into ahead of time, then I just would have waited for the shit to be on sale. But due to the hype and due to me being somewhat of a Souls fan, I gave in to it and I spent the $65. Plus, I mean, $65 really ain't shit to me, but in hindsight, it would have been smarter for me to just wait for the shit to be on sale for like $35 to $40, because I mean, I don't really think it's worth $65, especially coming from a person who played damn near all the Souls games, especially Dark Souls 3, because I'm pretty much looking at this shit like it's a DLC expansion pass.
Yeah, likely fucking story. Considering you're unable to find your way through the map, even with the very obvious rays of gold pointing where you need to go, I highly doubt you'll be able to find your way through any of the Souls games. That is, if you even played this game to begin with.
But hey, it is what it is. If you never played a Souls game, especially Dark Souls 3, then I recommend that you play this game, because I'm pretty sure you'll be one of those people that say, oh my god, this is the second coming of Breath of the Wild.
Wait, at the beginning you said the game is only good if you're a fan of the older games. Yet now you're saying it's good if you're a newcomer. So I guess the game is good if you're a fan of the old games and if you're a newcomer, so in short, this game is good no matter who you are. Seriously, did you even watch this video back before uploading?
That seems to be the sentiment for this game around fucking social media and pretty much everywhere else. All I know is that Bloodborne is the best Souls game to ever be created, and they need to come out with a PC version or at least announce Bloodborne Part 2 for the PS5 or some shit, because the minute they announce Bloodborne Part 2, trust me, they'll put all this Elden Ring shit to rest. Best believe it. But that's pretty much all I have to say. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. I very much appreciate it. It's your boy Trigger Senpai, and I'm out, man. Peace.
And with that, we're finally done with this dog shit video. So I guess the moral of the story here is, Elden Ring bad because game reviewers exist. This video was completely painful to get through, especially because this guy just went on a rant about game reviewers for half the video. And when he did talk about Elden Ring, he managed to prove absolutely nothing. So yeah, be sure to like and subscribe to boost me in the algorithm. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.